Welcome to the studio! Yee! This is section 1819 combo, number line, and opposites and absolute values. The objective is to compare real numbers and use absolute values. Now, what, you might be asking, are these things? Absolute values. Absolutely something I'm going to tell you in a moment. Now, let's first let's look at these things. We're talking about opposites. Opposite what? Opposites, if you're sitting opposite the room from me, you're on the other side. Well, opposite of number is opposite on the other side of something also. So look at it. Take this down. Oh! First off, let's talk about this line here. This is the number line. Yes, the number line. Looks like it's got some arrows there in the end, and that's because it's telling you, hey man, this goes on forever and ever and ever and ever that way, and forever and ever and ever this way. Okay? So on this number line, we have some things called whole numbers. Whole numbers are the numbers 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Those numbers, those positive integers and 0. Oh, wait a minute. What are integers? We'll just slow it down for a second. Integers are all of these. -4, -3, -2, -1. Integers are all these spots on the number line. They don't make up the entire number line. Actually, they make up like an infinitely small, strangely, part of the number line. But they're a very small part of this whole thing, which is everything that we see here in the number line, which is called the real numbers. The real numbers are everything, okay? So all this are real numbers. These little pit stops you put the tick marks on, these are called integers. Now, starting at 0 and counting up, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, those are the whole numbers. Those go from 0, 1, 2, 3, on forever. The integers go on forever like in both directions. They start way down there in negative world, in negative infinity, and they go all the way to positive infinity. These guys start at 0, they have an endpoint, and they go on infinity that way. So let's see. The integers go from negative infinity to like -3, -2, -1, da da da. I don't know if I can fit that all in, but basically, where I'm fitting in 0, 1, -1, on forever that way, on forever that way. Now the real numbers are just everything. It includes like point, 0.0000007, which is like way down there, or the point -9 billion, 9 billion, let's say -1/9 billion, which would be like right there. Okay, so it includes every single dot, every single little point on this number line. Every point here has one real number to go with it. Every real number has one point on this number line. Alright? So we use this real number to compare. Compare these integers or compare real numbers. We look at them. We say, alright, let's compare two numbers. Let's look at them. I'm going to compare 3 and -1. What's the relationship with 3 and -1? Let me leave a blank. Well, let's see. Well, isn't 3 to the right of -1? Yeah. 3 is to the right of -1. What if I was going to compare -1 and 3? Well, isn't -1 to the left of 3? Yes. These signs here, the greater than, don't want to make it easy. The greater than sign goes this way, the left hand sign goes the other. Now it's interesting. A couple ways people remember this is like, the alligator, it's like this vicious alligator that's eating larger numbers. It's like some people they're told the story, like if you're an alligator, you're really hungry, you're going to eat the bigger number. So if that works for you, it eats a bigger number. When I read it, I like to read it either way. I can start here and say, 3 is greater than this little number 1. Or read it this way. Number 1 is a little number, and then big. So it's like getting bigger towards the bigger, it's getting smaller towards the smaller, right? It's getting bigger. So 3 is greater than negative 1. What is that negative 1? Is that 3? You know, like, I don't know. Whatever it is, that's, you know, a couple different ways you can think about it. All right. Now, obviously, if I compare 3 with 3, I'll put an equal to sign. Now, equal sign. Now, over here, these are all positive. This is positive world. This is negative world. 0 is neither positive nor negative. Cool. Cool. That's why 0 is my second favorite number. 17 is my first favorite number. If anyone was wondering out there. Now, all right, what else do I have to talk about in this section? We've got through whole numbers, integers, real numbers, is all this stuff, greater than, this guy. Absolute value. Well, we're finding the absolute value of something. We just want to know the absolute, like, distance. So, when I want to know, like, the absolute value of 5, oh, we can't see that on this. Let's say the absolute value of 3. What I want to know is, what's the distance to 3 from 0, or from 0 to 3? So how far is 3 from 0? What's the distance? Well, it's 1, 2, 3. The distance is 3, isn't it? Interestingly enough, the distance to negative 3 is also 1, 2, 3. So, the absolute value of negative 3 is 3 because the distance from 0 to negative 3 is 3, and the distance from 0 to 3 is also 3. Now, distance is like, you're never going to be negative, and it's like, you're not going to say, I'm negative 7 miles from Boston. I mean, people don't say that, you know, so just maybe you remember that. Distance is, you're not going to have a triangle with negative, you know, one side of it's negative 3 centimeters long. Like, it's not going to happen. Now, all right. What's your, opposites. That's the other thing. Just like when you're, like, let's go back to 3 and negative 3. Notice we have this great line here, you know, the origin, right there in the middle. Everything has an opposite on the other side, like a reflection across this, across the origin. 3's opposite 3 is negative 3. So I say, hey man, what's the opposite of 3? You say, negative 3. I say, well, what's the opposite of negative 3? You say, 3. And sometimes to say opposite, we use the negative sign. So if I say the opposite of 3 is 3, and the opposite of negative 3 is negative 3. I mean, yeah. Sorry, wait a minute. Sorry. The opposite of 3 is negative 3. The opposite of negative 3 is 3. Does that make sense? I'm moving a little quickly, I know. Sorry. All right, now. Yes. Let's take a look. Are they reflected? Yes. Okay? Both absolute values the same? Yes. We talked about a couple different things. We talked about all of these guys here are called integers. Positive integers, negative integers, zeros, neither positive nor negative. Whole numbers start with 0 and keep going. And then real numbers is everything in between. Okay? And real numbers includes rational and irrational, but that's later on. Just rational you can write as a fraction, irrational you can't. They just go on forever. You know, that's something we can talk about later. But hopefully I gave you guys enough information to get you started on this chapter. Have a great day. It's hot. It's 3:45. It's Friday. I got to get out of here. I got a party to go to, man. Peace.